Orale! Bienvenidos and welcome to the Familia FFB podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, familia. One of the greatest holidays, probably the greatest holiday. I'm telling you, so many people think it is. And you know what? It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. It's food. It's familia. It's today football. Today it's going to be food, familia, and DFS Fiesta, familia. Sorry we couldn't do a live stream, but you know what? Here we are going to hit just the Thursday slate of games, and so it's going to be kind of a quick episode, longer episode later in the week on dropping it on Friday morning so that you can have all the Sunday and the Monday Night Football action. But please make sure to give us a like and subscribe, familia. I would so appreciate it. Muchas gracias. I mean, and it's going to help us it's going to help us grow. If you could give us a comment, that'd be really appreciated. Please give it to us. Giving you a shout out to our regular audience out there, Dame Overboard, Mr. Scampers, Alberto Marroquin. I tell you, you guys are familia. Thank you so much for always joining in. Hopefully you guys are able to tune in and get to hear this thank you, because it being Thanksgiving, giving thanks for everything. Happy for health. Happy for my daughters to be healthy, my wife to be healthy, us to be healthy, my mom, all our family members. Thankfully, everything's good. Familia is back. My sister and her husband and my godson and my other nephew, they are back in California, and it's wonderful to have them back to our familia together. So, you know what? I'm just happy. I love this holiday. Love this holiday because of the football and the food. No, it's just the best. Love Christmas too, but there's something about this one, just being able to lounge around and just have a good day. But familia, also very thankful for being able to do this. This is episode 308 of the Familia FFB podcast, and just awesome. Just awesome to be able to do this, bring it to you, and also thankful to Fantasy Points. Fantasy Points. When you go to fantasypoints.com and you use the promo code 22familia10, you get 10% off the already reduced 25% off that you're getting off of some of the best fantasy content. You know what? It's getting to be fantasy playoffs. The DFS lineups are also really caliente. You're getting the best of the best minds. John Hanson, Joe Dolan, Graham Barfield, Scott Barrett, Wes Huber, Tom Brawley. I mean, just so many great fantasy minds. I've been able to be a part of that familia, and as a part of the media group, it's just wonderful. Make sure you're subscribing. Use the promo code 22familia10, or if you want to do it in Spanish, 22familia10. So you know what? We're going to get into it, familia. We're going to do a little chisme at the beginning because they've got a little quarterback shuffle stuff going on right now. We're starting off. Matthew Stafford is out. He's going to be sitting out. It looks like he's going into the concussion protocol. Bryce Perkins is going to be taking first team snaps. I think the receivers downgrades all of them, because I tell you, Perkins is nowhere near on the same level as a passer as Stafford. He's more of a running quarterback, a kind of a rushing threat, someone that you want to, hopefully he breaks off, somewhere 70 to 80 yards worth of rushing, and maybe gets a touchdown. It really downgrades a lot of the offense. I'm really taking Rams out of my offense as much as possible. Maybe Kyron Williams, because he may get those short dump offs. Tyler Higbee limited in practice. So familia, that's something to keep in mind as they're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. It just doesn't look good. Also, what hasn't looked good is been Zach Wilson's look as far as a leader, a quarterback, someone who is going to be the face of the franchise for the Jets. You know what, familia? He's going to be sitting. He's afuera. We got Mike White going adentro. He did have a 400-yard game last year, more of a dink and dump type of guy. Maybe you upgrade someone like Michael Carter, James Robinson a little bit, maybe Tyler Conklin. I don't know how much it's going to help Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. So I'm not loving the Jets offense. They do get kind of a softer matchup against the Bears this week. We'll be talking about this more later in the week. Also, Kyle Allen is adentro, Davis Mills afuera. Looking like a changing of the guard. the Houston Texans they're looking at 2023. They're going to have 2 first-round draft picks, possibly the number 1 pick in the draft right now, in what's considered to be a very, very quarterback-rich draft. So, I mean, it's been tough to watch. I was high on Davis Mills, thinking he was going to take a sophomore leap, but it just hasn't happened, Familia. So, yeah. It's gonna be tough. I don't know what this does to Damian Pierce. I think I think he is quarterback proof as far as who is in front, who is handing him the ball. It definitely impacts Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins. Those guys, those are the pass catchers that it impacts the most. Lastly, a couple of guys are afuera, changing teams. Darrell Henderson, Melvin Gordon, both afuera. Both have been cut by their teams. Darrell Henderson, big surprise. Has been the starter, leading ball carrier a lot of the season, battled injuries obviously throughout his career, but it really looks like the Rams are making some changes for the future. So I'm not, he's already on the Jaguars. As far as the Rams are concerned, does this mark up Cam Akers or Kyron Williams? I think Williams is going to be getting a little more dump offs on there. So, and he's a better blocker. So the fact of the matter is he's going to be on the field during passing downs, maybe to help out, when he does help out, maybe he'll get some targets out there, maybe 5-6 targets a game. Melvin Gordon, still a free agent out there, so he's out. Oh, by the way, Darrell Henderson is now on the Jaguars. This does not mark down Travis Etienne. I think Etienne's still the clear number 1 guy. I think Henderson is just going to fill more of the role that James Robinson had, as he was being, kind of a change-up guy, helping out a little bit. So let's get into a little Adentro y Afuera with a little bit of a DFS Fiesta look at it. Let's go to the Thanksgiving games. We got Buffalo 7-3 at Detroit 4-6. Buffalo 9.5 point favorites. You guys know how much I like to bet on the road, on the home underdogs. So 54.5 point over and under. Vegas is expecting this game to roll. So I'm starting off with Gabe Davis is a guy that I'm looking at. I am adentro on him because of the fact that, he is a deep threat. He's 311 receiving yards on throws of 20 plus yards on the season. He's got a yards per route run on those throws of 23.92, just an extraordinary number. These are his targets his last 4 games: 7, 5, 9, and 7. You got in his last 2 games, he's starting to become, he's getting connecting with Josh Allen a little bit better. 6 catches, 93 yards for a touchdown in week 10. Week 11, 5 catches, 68 yards. So Detroit, number 27 against the wide receiver, averaging 273.6 passing yards per game allowed since week 7. Darius Slayton has got them for 86 yards last week. Alan Lazard in week 9 got them for 87 yards. I think Gabe Davis is going to be, he's someone at 5,300 on DraftKings. He's someone I very much want in my lineup. Look for him to be a big part of this offense on Thanksgiving morning. He's going to be breakfast, because he's going to feed me some breakfast, because you're going to see from my DK lineup that he's a big part of it. Let's go over to the Lions side of the house. Jamal Williams, 5,900 on DraftKings. This man has 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games. These are his rush attempts in the last 3 games: 24, 16, and 17. He is very much involved. So the interesting thing is he has still remained involved when the team has been in a negative game script. In a 24-6 loss to Dallas, 15 rush attempts. In the 29-0 shellacking shutout by the New England Patriots in week 5, 15 rush attempts. So, it's now it's what's going to give. Is he still going to be involved in the rushing attack, even if this game goes as expected according to game script, where the Buffalo Bills go up very much. So one of the things that I'm looking at, the Bills have tightened things up a little bit. They got beat up by the Jets for 141 rushing yards by the running backs in week 9. Week 10, Dalvin Cook took them for 119 yards. But then last week, they held Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt to just 51 combined rush yards. It was in the same stadium that they're at, Ford Field. I think that what happens, Jamal Williams, touchdown dependent. He's going to be kept out of the end zone on this one. I think Buffalo's going to do a good job defending him. And the Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are going to be forced to pass. Amon-Ra St. Brown, alert, he's going to be a main target for me in DFS. So let's go to the afternoon action. Lunchtime on Thanksgiving, New York Giants. It's 7-3 at Dallas, 7-3. This is an NFC East showdown. This is going to be a great game. Dallas is 9.5-point favorites. I think this is a game where Dallas is not going to cover this game. I think the Giants are going to make this an ugly one. It's going to be a one-score game. 45.5-point over under. The Giants, the one thing about it, they have 3 offensive line starters out for this game. So Daniel Jones is going to be, he's going to have to be doing some running. So here's the thing that I'm looking at on this one. Oh, wait a second. So I'm afuera on Jamal Williams. So now Daniel Jones, I'm afuera on him because I don't think he's going to have the time to throw deep passes as much as possible. He may get a shot over to Darius Slayton. I'm kind of banking on that, but for the most part, this is going to be where he's going to be getting there is going to be getting on the rushing. I think the Giants, if they're going to win, it's going to have to be a heavy Saquon game, maybe some dump offs, but a lot of rushing attempts. It's the game is going to have to go back through him. They were bottled up last week, not going to have to be doing that. Dallas can be run on a little bit. So, and as we saw, rushing quarterbacks can get home against them. You had Justin Fields in week 8 got 60 yards on them. And then you got Jones himself in week 3 went for 79 yards. So he's going to need to run to get anywhere. But you know what? At 5,500, I'm sorry, he is not someone that I'm looking at. Someone I am looking at, Tony Pollard, Familia. I mean, what a run this man is on. In his last 3 games, these are his touches, 15, 25, and 21. He was the RB2 in week 10, RB1 last week. So the interesting thing is, even though he was the RB1, he got 20. We had Zeke getting 16 touches last week and 2 touchdowns. So the one thing about it, he was able to do it through the air. So he only got 1 target when he, in that 23-16 loss in the 23-16 win, in week 3. But the thing that's interesting is he has 12 targets in the last 2 games. And then you look at the Giants side of the defense, number 28 against the running back, giving up 113.4 rushing yards to the position. The Lions, they totaled 150 rushing yards last week between their 3 guys. Dameon Pierce went for 122 total yards against them in week 10. The Houston got 69 receiving yards that week against the Giants. I think there's going to be a dual threat where this man Pollard is going to get home. 6,600. I'm adentro on him. So all over it. So Familia, let's go to Thursday night football. So Familia, this is going to be, I think this is going to be a little bit of a, not as back and forth. We've got the New England Patriots 6-4 at the Minnesota Vikings 8-2. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites, 42.5-point over under. Are the Patriots going to be able to score more than 3 points on offense? We know that they got the kickoff return for a touchdown. Not the kickoff, the punt return for a touchdown that was pretty much a walk-off against the Jets. So Familia, I'm looking at this game. I do think this game is not going to hit the over. We got the Patriots defense is really, really good. One of the 5 best defenses, maybe one of the 3 best defenses in all of the NFL. And but you know what? Mac Jones, I'm adentro on him, Familia. this week. I know it was a rough one, but you know what? Here's the thing about him. He's at 5,600, so he's a contrarian play to Josh Allen. Josh Allen is very much someone who he's the very sexy pick on this slate. He is the guy who could do everything. He could just break the slate by himself. He could put up, 30, 40 points by himself. But I'm looking at Mac Jones on this one. He had 246 yards last week, where it was his highest total since 300. He got 321 yards in week 3. But you know what? It was short shots, 23 of 27 passes that he connected on. So he had to throw short because of the fact that, Familia, the wind was swirling last week. They're in a dome this week. There's not going to be any problem. He's going to be, I don't know how many shots he's going to be able to take, but this is a defense that's been able to give up some passing yardage, that being the Vikings. This is the number 24 defense against the pass, giving up 284.4 passing yards per game. Dak just went into Minnesota and just ripped them apart. 22 of 25 for 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. Teddy Bridgewater, Kyler Murray, and Joshua Allen all went for 300-plus yards against Minnesota. Familia. Mac Jones, I don't know if he gets 300 yards, but he could get that bonus because of the fact that this is a game, the game script is set up for him to get to pass in this game. He should be well past that ankle injury. It's been 9 weeks since the injury. So you know what? I think you could build a lineup around him. One that I'm worried about building a lineup around is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, Familia. It's prime time. We know it's not prime. It's not good when it's prime time for Kirk Cousins. Last week against, just a few days ago against the Dallas Cowboys, he had a meltdown in that game, only 105 passing yards. It's another one in prime time. So we got two things that are pulling on different sides of the rope on this one. You got the primetime game, but it's a home game. He's got 7 touchdowns and only 1 interception when playing in Minnesota, even considering that awful game last week. The thing that worries me beyond the primetime, you got Justin Jefferson, who's playing with a minor turf toe. You know what? I've heard Deion Sanders say that turf toe is like you take a hammer and just bang your toe every time you run, every time you step when you run. So I just don't think that it's setting up well for Cousins on this one. Jefferson wasn't on the final report, but I think it's going to be limiting. New England, on the other side, has allowed just one 300-yard passer on the entire season. That was Zach Wilson in week 8, coincidentally. I mean, irony of ironies, where he threw 355 yards, but he also threw 3 interceptions this one. No other passer has surpassed 260. This is a low over under. I think Cousins is not going to be able to get it home on this one, Familia. So I'm afuera on him. So you know what? That's it for the Thursday game. But you know what? Let's get into a little look at, I'm going to share my screen right now. I am looking at the DFS lineup. So I'm looking at Josh Allen, Familia, 8,000. He is the guy. I'm building a lineup around him. I will save other places. Tony Pollard, get him in the lineup. James Cook, 86 yards last week. Familia, this is a guy who's going to be able to who could break off a long run on this one. Get Stephon Diggs, stacking him with Josh Allen, Gabe Davis. I mean, look at that. I mean, that defense, the Detroit defense. You got Jeff Okudah, who's been limited, maybe out in this game. The secondary, I'm telling you, I think Josh Allen's going to be picking them apart all game long, all morning long. It's going to make my breakfast taste really good. I'm looking at Darius Slayton as someone who, could get a long ball. I don't know how much he's going to be able to, but you know what? He's the only guy in town. Kenny Golladay has just not been able to do it since he's been back. And really Wan'Dale Robinson out for the season with torn ACL. Slayton is the only guy who's been able to get consistent targets at $5,000. I want him in there. Tight end Dawson Knox. I'm playing cheap on this one. You know what? What's happened is I've seen Josh Allen when they're in the red zone. He's been taking his shots with Dawson Knox. So I'm looking at Knox on this one to get possibly get a touchdown in this one. On the other side, Amon-Ra St. Brown, recurring theme. I'm really only attacking the first two games on this one because those are the two highest scoring games. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think he gets in the he's been stopped inside the 5-yard line so many times, Familia. I mean, I think this one he breaks through. He's going to get 100 yards and a touchdown in this one. The Giants, I'm playing the Wink Martindale defense. They're an attacking defense. Maybe they get a turnover. Maybe they get some sacks, get home on Dak Prescott. That at 2,400, I'm saving some money on that one. That's it, Familia. Quick show today. Again, have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves out there. Be safe. Enjoy your familia. Again, special thanks to everybody who's been watching, who's been following this year. I'm so grateful to you that you guys are what keep us going. Please, again, familia, if anybody new out there is watching, listening, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and go to fantasypoints.com. I'm telling go to fantasypoints.com. Put in promo code 22Familia10. Make sure to get 10% off the already reduced 25% off for the regular season subscription. Again, make sure you're going to Anchor for Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you give us a like and subscribe there. If you give us a comment, give us a review, really appreciate it. Again, FamiliaFFB.com. I have a quick article on this game, and we'll make sure you go there. I'm gonna keep pumping out content on there. Again, I'm at Jorge Martin 17 on Twitter. Please make sure to give us a follow. We're Familia FFB everywhere else. Otra vez, happy Thanksgiving, feliz Día de la Gracia, and remember, todos somos familia. Salud.